Good morning, everyone. I would like to welcome you to this wonderful morning session we have with Neurographica America's School. It's a school of creative and transformative arts. And I welcome you to our 2019 spring semester. It's a beautiful morning on March 8th, 2019. The air is crisp outside. The weather is a little chilly, but we know the spring is around the corner and we are very excited about it. I myself came from former Soviet Union, so I would like to start with saying Happy International Women's Day, because in Europe, it's a big, big celebration for women from all kinds of backgrounds, all kinds, any age, any kind of diversity, any color, any skin color, any hair color, right? And it's a beautiful holiday. I am going to welcome you now personally. Hello, my name is Lana Shalumov, and I am the certified instructor of Neurographica Americas. I have been certified by the Institute of Psychology of Creativity and by the founder of Neurographics, Pavel Piskaryov. I took a certification instruction course with him last year, and it was a most amazing eye-opening experience, one of the most amazing eye-opening experience in my life. And here I am with my colleagues, also instructors of Neurographics, Neurographica in United States, and we would like to welcome you to our spring semester. So I would like to, I think I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself, and then we're going to start the class, the session. Like I mentioned, my name is Lana Shalumov. I am a certified instructor. I have been a special education teacher for the past 20 years, and I have been leading various classes and workshops, organizing different community classes for children, like Sunday school. For adults, I have organized women's gatherings and having, classes where we learn more about who we are as a woman. Basically, it's about the feminine power. I also have a background in Judaica. I have graduated Yeshiva University, and I do have I have a degree in Judaic studies, and I always feel it's my kind of, to say, duty, it's kind of my calling in life to let people know the beauty of Judaism, the beauty of life that Judaism offers, and often offer insights into and glimpse into the beautiful world. I have been creating and leading certain classes, such as combining various classes and Jewish philosophies with Neurographica. For example, such as Kabbalah, the Tree of Life, Sfirot, with Neurographica. Actually, behind me, you see this is a tree. This is a Tree of Life, where we combine the algorithm of the Neuro tree with the Sfirot in Kabbalah, the Tree of Life. I also enjoy combining various interesting information and insights I find that can contribute to the world view on life, and how can we improve the way we see life, and the way we view life, and the way we can transform life, which is what Neurographic is all about. I am going to switch the video now, and we're going to start drawing, because I'm going to talk more and explain more about what we're doing, but I think it's more fun that we do it while we look at the paper and start writing and drawing. So welcome to the magic. Okay, so here we have, so what I am suggesting and I'm inviting for you to do is to take a piece of paper. What I'm doing is I have my album, my drawing album, and I have a piece of paper. So the piece of paper, you can actually use the album for that as well. The piece of paper will serve as a like note-taking, where I will be telling you more about what exactly we're doing, explaining more the philosophy behind it. And this paper, the main paper in my drawing pad, is a paper that we're going to draw on. So also, please prepare your markers. What I invite you to do is I have these markers. I got them on Amazon, of course. I love Amazon. I invite you to choose the color of your choice. Use your intuition to choose the color that you would like, that you feel drawn to, that you feel comfortable with. Sometimes what helps is, when you are not sure, when you're like more conflicting, what helps is like putting out all the colors and just think what color scheme you would like to go to. So there's actually a whole color training in Neurographica that's called the 5 elements, or the color therapy, so to say, in a way. But basically there is a whole the whole session, the whole course in Neurographica about combining the energy of colors with the technique of Neurographica. So I am looking at my color, and sometimes what also helps, actually, so this is how, you can do this, you can put the markers out and decide. What I'm going to actually suggest to you is, for now, just get a pen. This is what I'm going to do. I have a pen with me, right? The first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about our topic. And our topic today is circles. That's right, circles. What are circles? Circles are a graphic visualization. Circles are what we can graphically put down on the paper to show something. And that something is what we are going to explore today. I would like to tell you about circles. In Neurographica, circles are used to express natural resources. I would like to tell you just a little bit about Neurographica, because even though this is a beginner's class, this is not fully an introduction. We actually have an introduction to Neurographica. We will be doing an introduction to Neurographica very soon in our school. I believe Margarita will be teaching it. And I welcome you all to attend, just so you can learn about the basic elements in the technique, in the method of Neurographica. What I'm planning to do here today is just give you a glimpse, because circles are the most basic elements that we have in Neurographica. And that is what I would like to focus on and discuss the philosophical background. Why circles? Why circles? Why not any other graphical elements? I mean, we also have square in Neurographica, and we also have a triangle in Neurographica, and we also have something called a neurographic line. Just for the purpose of introducing you to the topic, a neurographic line is a line that goes from one side to another, and it goes in a pattern manner. This is the most important part to remember. It should not be going in a pattern manner because it's in our method, we're trying to go above or beyond the pattern. So what we are trying to do is we're going out of the pattern. So neurographic line will lead you like this. See, it is a wavy line. This is very important to remember. It is not a straight line. It is a wavy line, and it has different waves. Can you notice this? Do you see what I'm drawing? It doesn't have a specific pattern to it. It doesn't have a specific like length to it, you know, height or width. It's different all around. Like this side may look similar, but it's just similar. Look at this. This has a different width than this one, right? And this one, and this, the shape over here is more round. Over here is a little more triangle, but it's not triangle still. So that brings me to another point. When we draw the neurographic line, we try to avoid lines that are picky or sharp. We do not draw lines like this. This is not what we do in Neurographica. We try to keep a nice, smooth, curvy, circular shape, okay? And the last point I'm going to make on neurographic lines, simply because I do want to focus on circles today, is that the neurographic line is the line that leads us intuitively. What does it mean? That means that in no way do I control the way my neurographic line goes in the paper. I do not control which direction it goes to, whether it goes up or down, right or left, all around. What I do pay attention to, no, I'm not, a lot of times my students ask, do I close my eyes when I draw it? And I say, absolutely not. You have to be completely conscious. What I do pay attention to is to make sure, even though I'm not controlling the direction, my hand goes whatever it feels like going, because my hand is the expression of my subconscious. But what I do control is the waves, or the waves that I'm making. Do you notice this? Whenever I go into something that may even resemble something pattern-like, I right away change the pace of the line and go in a different direction or in a different wavelength, okay? So that's important to remember. Another thing I'm going to focus, because I feel it's important for you to know about Neurographica, and if you do know about Neurographica, I would like to remind you about it. Wherever we see intersection or of lines or circles that we're going to draw now, it's very important to go to that intersection and curve it out or close down the squares, okay? This is very important to remember. I'm going to draw a bigger representation of the intersection so you can see exactly what I'm making. What I'm doing here, you see the intersection? It creates this sharp angles, which we are trying to avoid in Neurographic. We're not just trying to avoid it. We are not just avoiding it, but we're rather transforming them. Corners or peaks are not something we are looking for in Neurographic method. We're trying to curve everything. We're trying to give everything smoothness, and this is the important part to remember. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to curve it out like this, you see? I'm adding some necessary curvy lines inside that corner in order to make that corner curvy. And this is what I would like for you to remember. Now, okay. Like now. So I go all over my picture, my composition, my creation, and wherever I see the intersections, I make sure I go over them and curve them out. That's a term I like to use. Different instructors may use different terms. It's very important. to pay attention and realize that we are actually all are talking about this specific element of Neurographica. Now, when it comes to something like this, you see how the line is very close to the next line? It's not an intersection. Now, I would like to make it an intersection just for the sake of showing you one more example of curving out or smoothing out the corners. And voila, here it is. Okay. Now, going back to circles. Let's discuss circles. What are circles? Why do they have such an important role? Why do they play such an important role in Neurographical class? What is so important about circles that they bring such interesting and very massive part in Neurographica, in the method of Neurographica? And I'll be honest with you, in the world of Neurographica, circles are symbols of this mystical amazingness. That's exactly how you call it. Circles are miracles. And let's discuss that now. What are circles? Where do they come from? I would like to bring you a little bit of a Kabbalistic, because I study Kabbalah and I find that to be so imperative and integrative in everything that I do around me, in the world in general, in trying to understand what the world is and how we can navigate in it safely in order to be able to bring to realization our potential in this world. Because this is how I see, our existence in this world in a more global view. What are we doing here? Who are we? Who are the people around us? And how can we relate to them in a safe and optimal manner where we can help each other out and bring each other happiness? That's exactly what it is, because every person comes to this world to be happy. And that's my motto in life. Every single person is born in this world to be happy. So I make sure that this is my work in this world, is to help each person understand how he or she can be happy and consequently help other people around them be happy. So I would like to show you that circles in Neurographica, when we start drawing Neurographica, we talk about circles as being as natural resources. Whenever we want something that needs comfort, that needs, joy, something where we want to feel love and harmony and care, we start drawing circles. Circles are very basic. I would like to tell you something about circles in a Kabbalistic view. When God Almighty created the world, in the beginning, before the creation of the world, there was nothing but His immense light, His concentrated light. In Hebrew, it's called Or, Aleph Resh, Or means light in Hebrew. And this kind of Or is light that's illuminating, and the way it illuminates it completely fulfills and takes over the whole space in that, if you can call it, in that vacuum, so to say. So this light was everywhere. So what happened is the light was so immense and so intensive that there was no potential, there was no, so to say, space for anything else to even exist in this space, in this vacuum that we're drawing. We'll call for our purpose the universe. Although this happened way before the universe even existed, the way we know it as a universe. And this existential light that took all over. It's actually the full Kabbalistic name for this light is or Ein Sof. What it literally means is light that does not finish. But the way we can translate it to understand is infinite light. It has infinite light. So what happened is there is this infinite light that's taking over the whole space. And at one point, and this is where the breaking moment, the transforming moment comes. And at one point, God Almighty decided that the creation of a universe is to come. God decided to create the world or the universe as we know it, the term as we know it, the view that as we know it now. But in order to do that, since there is no potential to do it in the space because it's taken over by or Ein Sof, that light has to somehow be taken care of. Somehow there must be created a space for the world to start coming into the fruition. So what is happening here? The way God does it, and this is where the Kabbalistic term comes off, walking with God or learning from God or emanating God, What happened is, what God did is took the whole space. I'm going to make a square, and for our sake, for the sake of this explanation, we will pretend that this is the universe, quotation marks with my fingers, universe that we're referring to. In the middle of this universe, God put a dot. And this dot is the start, okay? Please note that my dot is circular because dots are, by nature, circular. We're putting down the dot. What happened afterwards? What happens afterwards? Very interestingly, how around the dot, God decided to create his or her present. And that present has to be done in the way that it's an equal amount from around the circle, which means that if we go, let's say, 2 centimeters here or 2 inches here and 1 inch here, then the space that's created is not going to be circular. But the most amazing way it's done is that the way God created the world was he started to do tzimtzum. Tzimtzum is a term. Tzimtzum means diminishing of self. Diminishing of self. What does it mean? That means that God put a dot, and then I'm going to use a circular just for the sake of showing you this example. You do not need it in this lesson, in this session, but put a dot, and from that dot, in equal amount, for example, I chose to do this amount from the dot, this distance from the dot. God went around and created a diminishing, a tzimtzum. What that means is there was light everywhere, but slowly, surely but slowly, that light started to diminish from the circle, meaning the light started going in all directions equally. That's, as you can understand, by going in all directions equally, it would create a circle. Equally going in all directions, the light started diminishing, meaning getting away from this dot, going further and further back in all directions equally, and thus it was creating a circle. Okay, so this is the light. So around the circle, we have light, right? This is how the light diminished. Okay, so this is Or Ein Sof, right? This infinite light that's extremely immense and extremely concentrated, that nothing else can go through. But over here, God decided to diminish, tzimtzum, his present, his or her present. And as a result, we have this vacuum. And the vacuum in here has this great potential for creating life. And this is the way I would like to present the power, the magic of a circle, and how we are going to refer to it in Neurographica at this point in this session. We are going to create our own circles. We're going to bring ourselves, and this is what God did. God diminished the presence of the Almighty in order to make space for a world to come into existence. And that's an interesting view into the way we can view the world. And by diminishing the presence, I would like to mention that God did not leave the world. God is still present. Actually, Kabbalah says that a little tiny bit of the light, or rather the reflection from this light, still goes inside the circle. But that reflection is so light, is so, transparent, that it does not have the same quality of thickness, that nothing can penetrate and be created, but rather it's very, very transparent, yet it still has that potential for existence. That light that exists in here is something that we call air. Okay? Air is what is in Kabbalah, in Kabbalistic terms, air that we breathe in every day, the oxygen, and and the carbon monoxide that we breathe out, is that transparent reflection of the huge, thick, eminent light of godliness from outside of the universe. So basically, I'm trying to say that this outside life is not completely separated from us. We are all interconnected. This is how we live in life as well. We are all interconnected. So, what I'm going to do next, this is a very basic introduction to the circles. We are actually planning to have a bigger, workshop, a whole, like a course, where it's probably going to be like maybe 4 to 5 to 6 hours on circles, explaining more in details how circles, how symbolic they are in our life, how they relate to our life. I am, for the sake of this session specifically, going to do something a little different so we can go ahead and start drawing. I would like to invite you to start making the list. And by list, I mean, let's think of a topic. What is your topic? Why do you come to this session? What is it that you would like to take from this session? And how would you like this session to help you? In order to do that, we need to create a topic. A topic, I actually like to call it a quest. A quest is something that you would like to seek in your life. In my terminology, the topic for your picture or for your drawing, I usually call a quest, because it's more related to what is it that we're really looking for. What's topic or theme or a quest is something that we're looking for, something that we really miss in our life, and we feel the need to bring it in. For example, I will choose a topic in my life to make, I am a mother. I have, thank God, 5 children. So I always look for a way to improve my relationship with my children, my relationship with my husband. In this case, I'm going to talk about the relationship with my children, because I feel it's always a topic that never grows old. For your sake, you can actually bring in a topic just to show you the wide variety, wide range of this topic would be relationships, relationships with your friends, relationships with your mother, with your father, with your brother, with your sister, relationships, let's say, with your coworkers in a professional setting, relationships with, your partner in life, whether it's a spouse or whether it's just a partner in life. This is important. We are all human beings, and this is why I said that we are all interconnected in this world. And the people we meet in this world are a glimpse into what is it that we need in this world. What is it that we need to transform and improve in the world so we can have a happy, remember that's a key word in this world, a happy life. I actually would like to bring you a beautiful quote that I was introduced to in the beginning of this week by Martin Buber, who is a Jewish philosopher. I believe I think at the end of the 1800s, if I'm not mistaken. I may be mistaken. In that case, please forgive me. Martin Buber, right? Not Justin Bieber, not the singer. We're talking about the Jewish philosopher. And he said something like this: in order for the ego to feel special, it has to separate from other egos. In order for a person to feel connected and special, in order for the person to feel special, it has to connect to other persons. So I'm going to reiterate that. In order for an ego to feel special, it has to separate from other egos. But in order for a person to feel special, it has to connect to other persons. And this is how we are. We're trying to show here how a person can feel special, for a person to be happy. By special in this case, I do mean happy. It's important to connect to other persons. So I am making my topic, my quest in this picture, a relationship. And I invite you all to write down. It's very important to write and draw everything in our session in the method of Neurographica, because visualization is an important part of Neurographic method. Relationships. And I am personally exploring the relationship between a parent and a child, or children in my case. You are welcome to write your own quest. It honestly doesn't even have to be a relationship. You're welcome to choose your own quest. Finding a new job, buying a house, becoming, growing in your professional career. Please go ahead. Traveling around. I mean, honestly, sky is literally the limit, or maybe even not in our case today, right? When people are going into space, right? So the topic of my picture, and I invite you to write the topic of your the quest for your work, for your Neurographica magical drawing today, is relationships, parent, child, children. Now, what we are going to do is, I'm going to teach you a technique, unless you already know it, and you might already know it in many cases, that's called writing a list, making a list. What is a list? A list is a technique where we are going to, we will be, I will use my phone in this case. I will put 2 minutes on my alarm, and within 2 minutes, this is what I would like for you to do. I would like for you to create a list of things. In our case, actually, in this session, I would like for you to draw lines and to separate this paper into 3 parts, okay? So on the top of the first part, I'm going to write, what am I thankful to the world, okay? Thanks to the world, to the universe. If you are a religious person, you can say God. What am I thankful to God for? In the second line, in the second section, the topic of your list will be, who am I? Okay, who am I? Just write who you are. And the third topic, the third section will be called, what do I want? Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to do 3 different lists. Each list will take 2 minutes. So if you're doing it with me, I'm doing it on my phone, so you're welcome to follow. If you're doing it in your house and you need to, do your own things, put it on your own phone, create an alarm, not an alarm, but rather a timer for 2 minutes. And I'm going to give you an example, and I'm going to write so you see how this list is done, okay? And I'm starting the timer for 2 minutes, and I am going to write it down, and then I will read it aloud just for you to understand the way it works. Now, the rules when you write the list is you do not stop. Whatever is the mind flow you have at this moment, whatever the thought flow you have at the moment, you're writing it down. It may not look at your topic, relationships, parent, child, children, and think how it, my intuition is telling me, and I'm used to listening to my intuition, that I will include in this case, not just parent, child, children, but rather family dynamics. So I will write down spouse as well. Okay, so please write down spouse, and then also parent, child, children. Okay, you can choose to focus whatever you would like to. I would like to focus on relationships, family dynamics, and to me that's an important quest that I'm looking for, and I'm used to listening to my intuition, and I'm bringing in what my intuition is telling me to do. So thanks to the world, what am I focusing on here? I'm looking at the topic relationships, which is family dynamics, between the spouses, between the parent, the child, the children themselves, between the children themselves. And I'm thinking, this is what I'm going to do, okay? Just watch me, and I'm sure you will be able to repeat this. This is a really easy technique that I would be very happy for you to take, kind of adapt to yourself. So 2 minutes are starting. I'm not going to talk now. I will be writing down. You're welcome to watch what I'm writing. In 2 minutes, I will say it out loud. Okay, so my timer stopped. And maybe a little less than 2 minutes, I realize, because I think it went off the wrong way. But I would like to show you the work that I did just for you to understand what we're doing. So, for example, what I wrote in my list, just to show you an example and understand what's happening, is I wrote love, family, daughter, name of my children. Then I wrote something like understanding, interests, care, hope, comfort, love, joy, Shabbat, which is a family day, in my case, interest, spouse, mutual understanding, basher, which means in Hebrew means a soulmate, fun, travel. So basically everything that comes to my mind in relationship, when I think about the word relationships, family dynamics, I'm writing it down. Now, I am looking at the world and I'm writing down, who am I? Okay. Now you can look at your quest, but in this case, honestly, who you are, in this, for the sake of this section, you should not be looking at your topic. I want you to write down exactly who are you? What are you? Who are you? How do you see yourself? This is what I want to hear. How do you see yourself? And this is so important. I have students who say, oh, I don't know what to write. And this is so important. I would like for you to take this exercise and write down who you are. You should be able to fill the section fully, okay? Let's start now. By the way, for the sake of this session, I would like to tell you that if you're watching this session as a video, you're welcome to write me a question. You're welcome to contact me in the group Neurographica Americas. Welcome to messenger me, that's fine. And I would be very happy to explain more, but I am hoping the way I'm writing, I'm explaining everything. So who am I? I'm writing. I would like to show you that, one second. I see something here that I would like. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm back. So who am I? 2 minutes started. Let's write. I will read it out later. Okay, the 2 minutes has finished. I'm going to write to you what I wrote just to give you a glimpse into what I would like for you to do. So I wrote, who am I? I'm a mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a niece, I'm a wife, I'm a lover, I'm a spouse, I'm a beautiful, I'm a role model, I'm an educator, I'm a creator. I am an artist. Sometimes I repeat, the words can repeat itself, like the word love or interest or creator I wrote a few times, and that's okay. The important thing is not to focus on them, not to try, if it comes to your head to write creator like 3-4 times in a row, go beyond that. It's just like when we draw a neurographic line and we try to go beyond the pattern. This is what I would like for you to do. Fashion designer, cook, entrepreneur, instructor, I'm a woman, I'm a friend, I'm a community member, I'm a neighbor, I'm a passenger, I'm a helper, I'm an organizer. Yeah, basically, again, few words have repeated itself. This is who I am. Okay, now through the first list and the second and the third, we're going to do something else with the list. There is a reason for this. Now the third list is an important list. What do I want? Here we do look at our quest. Okay, this is directly related to our quest, I would like for you to focus on that. My quest is family dynamics, relationships. So I am going to put 2 minutes and going to write down what comes to my head in regards to what I want in life. Okay, so my 2 minutes are finished, and I would like to tell you what I wrote for what I want, just for you to get an understanding. So I wrote understanding, care, love, joy, comfort, warmth, friendship, companionship, mutual respect. Then I wrote just plain respect, interest, care, fun, improvement, here, listening. Again, I wrote interest, fun, joy, happy. Again, the words can repeat itself, but important not to get stuck on that one word and go beyond it. Happy, simcha. Do you listen to your thought flow? There are an expression of your intuition, and intuition is an expression of your soul. And soul, it's a completely different session, but soul is a part of you that knows why you're in this world and what you need to do. So it's important to listen, to learn to hear, and to kind of sharpen your intuition. Then I wrote acceptance, breathing. You know, at one point I started to breathing, and I wrote breathing, happy family, bring in love, fun, joy, relationship. I wrote chuppah. Chuppah is the wedding canopy. You know, it's a Jewish wedding ceremony. Classes, I wrote career. You know, that I get in my mind, I guess career and classes have an important like relationship with my family dynamics. And I'm sure everybody's life are, right? And this is my list. Okay, so this is what I would like to tell you what we are going to do. We are going to do something called 40 circles, okay? In the world of Neurographic, like I mentioned, and I will be talking more about the circles role in Neurographica while we will be drawing. But circles in Neurographica are for care, for comfort. Like I mentioned, Kabbalistic way, circles are the way the world was created. So this is the most basic way we can relate to the world, basically. It brings harmony. It has proven that circles are like in psychological circles are play on words. In psychological circles are natural resources, you know. So what I would like to do is we're going to do a very therapeutic type of Neurographic drawing called 40 circles. That's right. We're going to draw 40 circles. Now, for the sake of this picture, you are welcome to experiment, of course, but what I would urge you to do, and by word urge, I mean what I would suggest for you to do, especially if you're a beginner in Neurographica, to use one color for all 40 circles, okay? All 40 circles should be one color. Why is that, you're asking me? Simply because that it would be easier for you to curve out all the interactions with one color marker. When it's different colors, it becomes a little more complicated as to you have to know the dynamics of the colors and how they interact with each other. And our sessions is not that long today, so I would like to focus on one color specifically. And I'm looking at my markers, and now, remember what I talked about choosing a color? Now that you know your topic and you even look at the list, what we're going to do is we're going to go through our 3 sections list. I will tell you exactly why we draw that. And I would like for you to choose a marker that you feel drawn to. Like when I talk about relationships, I'm thinking, and I am for some reason, and this is not the first time, I keep looking at it back and forth, and I'm looking that I'm being drawn to this teal color. It's not fully blue, or is it? I am looking for like more of a teal, not a green, not a blue, something between the green and the blue. Yeah, I want this color after all. So you see what happened? I took a few colors within that family of color, of the color blue and green, and I chose, this is the color I want, okay? This is a color that I feel comfortable with, and this is a color that I would like. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 10 circles, and those 10 circles are going to represent the circles that are, remember the list we made in the first section, thanks to the world? Let's choose 10 items. You don't have to choose 10 items. Just kind of highlight or underline or, circle the part of this list that makes utmost importance to you. For example, for me, I'm going to circle Shabbat. Family time is very important to me. I always try to make sure that it is done in a way where we all get to enjoy each other's presence. Just to give you an example, you're welcome to choose your own values and your own way of importance to you. So for me, love is important. I'm going to highlight each one of my children simply because I feel like it's important for me to connect to each child on their own level and to connect to them in general, all together. I am going to write, of course, my spouse. I'm going to highlight. And I'm going to highlight travel because I feel it's so important to learn how to travel together. The family gives you that new dimension to your family dynamics. And I'm going to choose one more word that I feel is so important, okay? I already chose love, like an emotional expression of the world. And I'm going to choose, oh boy. I'm going to choose, I'm thinking we should choose comfort or care. Somehow not. You know what? I am going to choose mutual understanding. I feel it's so important. This is important. Bashert, I'm going to waive it. It has its significance to me, but I'm putting it like on a back burner. Okay, so look at the important words in your life, which you are thankful to the world for, which you're thankful to God for. Another word for this would be gratitude. That's right, that important, Thanksgiving. This is an important word. And we're going to express it visually or graphically on our paper, and the way we're going to express it is by creating circles. Those main, basic, graphical expressions of love and care and comfort. Okay? So what I'm going to do is, you're welcome to choose any size, you can take your whole paper, you can take a part of the paper. Just go with your intuition and let it be, would like to wish all of you, let's happy drawing, and let's start. I'm going to make one circle over here, and that circle is love. You're actually welcome to write the words inside, or you don't have to. You can make it more, intentional, or you can let it be without the words, I sometimes like the words and sometimes not. I'm going to draw circles for each one of my children. Now, what happens over here? You see what happened? I got a little curve over here out of the circle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and connect it to the outside, to the outer part of the circle. This way, you see, nothing is hanging. No lines should be hanging. Okay. I'm doing it slowly just for the sake of explaining to you what you need to do. You can do it more meditatively, more quickly, you know, just draw circles. Circles are fun. Just draw 10 circles and think about those terms that you chose in life, okay? Circles. Just draw a circle. Circles are fun. We're going to curve out all the all the intersections later on, just to let you know. Just now, I would like for you to get into the circle mode, into the circle world. That's, by the way, a very Kabbalistic term, circle world. There will be a separate session on that, but in our Neurographica class, I believe in April, around pre-Passover time, which is going to be an amazing and mind-blowing class, talking about the Kabbalistic view of the world. 3, 4, 5. See what happened here? I started to draw a circle and I realized that this circle wants to be much bigger than what I was trying to express here. So what I'm going to do is what I did is I just made it bigger. I let my intuition take over. And this is a big circle. This is a representation of my spouse. So I do think that it's, you know, something that goes out. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I drew a lot of things in the circle, and I realized that I would like to put in myself as a circle. That's another, you know, important instrument. Always try to bring yourself into your neurographic drawing, okay? So this is me, and I also want to go outside of this picture, which means that the figure of me and the figure of my spouse is much bigger. That's what's represented in this picture, and that's, you know, different also term. That's interesting. Okay, and I think I have one more circle to go. So you see what I'm doing here? I'm drawing more into, you know, more with intentions, right? Each circle represents something. You can also draw, like I said, more meditative. Just draw 10 circles. And I promise you, your intuition does play a role, and you will end up drawing whatever it is that you need to highlight in your list. And my circle and travel is somehow, yeah, I'm also making it bigger than what it is now. Okay. Oh, look at this. This big circle is traveling. Interesting. Now, what I would like to do is to go over and curve everything out. And while we're curving everything out, before we draw a new set of circles, because remember, we're making 40 circles today, we're drawing a world of circles, a world of happiness, because circles bring happiness. And I would like to tell you that when we talk about the symbol of circles in Neurographica, we discussed that everything, just like I brought to you the Kabbalistic view on the fact that the world was created from a circle. The circle was the first ever creation, graphical creation. And the first creation in the world was done in a circle by creating tzimtzum, you know, this backing up of the light to create space for something else. And that's, you know, that's very symbolic in people's life, because sometimes in order to bring somebody else or something else in your life, you kind of need to step back and create the void, you know. In order for, there's like a philosophical saying that in order to pour water in a cup, the cup must be empty, you know, and this is like an important, um, idea that we use in Neurographic, right? I mean, we do start with an empty paper, and that's an important, like, pre-light, you know, kind of preliminary, like, kind of understanding that in order to draw something, the paper has to be clear and kind of, doesn't have to be white per se, but white in the sense that there's nothing else on it. So talking about circles, in Neurographic, circles are the most basic natural resources. And where does that come from? So I would like to tell you that, you know, if going historically, right, anthropologically wise, if you go into the world, you know, the creation of the world, we went all the way back with the creation of the universe. But let's go with the creation of the world, you know, how God created everything. And then the fact that you know, when the human beings started to live, what were the most basic, you know, way they viewed the world? The world was presented to them. Thinking about it, the world was presented to them in the form of the circle. Circular form is very prevalent in the simple world that we call, which is not so simple, but I do call it simple, meaning non-technological world, you know, non-corporation world, so to say. The nature, right? When we look at the nature, circles are prevalent form, graphical form everywhere. For example, I would like to show you. Oh, 1 second, please. Seems like my camera all of a sudden changed its setting and started moving with me, which is can be nice in a way, but I think it may not necessarily be always comfortable. Okay. So the way the world, the nature was created, if you look at the fruits, most of the fruits are in a circular shape, right? It's either circle or oval, like apples and, you know, plums and what's not, you know, most of the fruits from the fruits from the tree, I mean. And this is like talking about fulfilling the basic human needs, right? So the if we're going to the biblical terms, you know, Adam was kind of asked to leave. We're going to say it nicely, asked to leave the paradise, the Gan Eden, the Garden of Eden, right? He was asked to leave to explore the world on his own. And when he did that, what are the basic human needs? The basic human needs are eating, right? So in eating, most of the way we know that, you know, something that brings us comfort and care is circular, like fruits, right? Most fruits, you know, and in olden times, that's how people would survive. They would travel around and they would eat whatever they find growing on the trees. And, you know, it was like safe to know that whatever is growing on the tree, not on the, you know, on the floor, not on the bushes. By the way, that's a different, you know, category. But on the trees, most of the time, they were safe to eat, and people knew that. And it was an important, like, natural way to survive in the world. Also, like when the beginner people, the nomads, as we call them historically, you know, used to, the way they would look at the nature, they would see circles in natural causes as well, such as the sun and the moon, right? So when Adam was asked to leave the Garden of Eden, what happened? He had to look for food, and then he had to understand that there are elements of darkness and light that the nature goes through. And there's actually in a Jewish it's called the Midrash. Midrash is a way that a lot of myth and legend, so to say, not in the way that you would understand when it goes to the myth of legend of, let's say, the ancient Greece or Roman myth and legend. In the Jewish liturgy, in the Jewish world, in Jewish philosophy, there is no such thing as creation of the myth and legend. It's not just, some made up stories that kind of like imagination and fantasy world, so to say. It's not like the life of dragons or mermaid, where it's more fantasy. It's a different dimension. In the Jewish myth and legends, it's more about the world of like the lives of like the wise people, the sages, and that's what comprises the myth and legend in the Jewish philosophy. We talk about not necessarily legend as something that's made up, like I mean like for example the Greek mythology, right? When you read it, you do understand that most of it is like so separated from reality that you kind of question the validity, and you understand that this is mostly a fantasy part, fantasy, fiction type of storytelling, as opposed to like more realistic. Now, when it comes to the Jewish philosophical, the myth and legend in the Jewish philosophy are actually more connected to the reality. They're more connected to the, realistic way that people live their life, and people undergo different transformation and different ways to relate to the world. So I would like to go back to our list. I just curved out all the circles on my picture now. So I'm going through the second section, and we're going to do the same thing. Highlight, underline, or circle whatever words makes an utmost importance to you. Remember, the second list is who am I? The first list was thanks to the world. What am I thankful for? The second list is who am I? Where am I now in life? Okay. So as you can see, we're not just, saying specific like words like gratitude and who am I, but mostly archetypical. How are we, bringing it into our world of transformation, right? First was what we already have, who we are already, kind of thanks to the world for what we have. Now we're talking, who am I? Where am I in this world, right? So this is more like realistic. If the first was like more looking at the past, and this is, by the way, a different way of looking at life. We have past, right? Present. And then the last list is going to be what do I want, which is the future, right? We're trying to get a glimpse into the future. Okay, so now we're focusing on the present. Who am I? Where am I in this life? So basically choose what you feel is more important. Like I'm going to choose mother, daughter, wife, sister, niece, lover, beautiful. I think that's, even though it's an adjective, but it's a beautiful, it's the right expression of who I feel I am. I'm a role model. I am an educator, and I do feel important to being a creator. I feel important being a community member. I do feel important being as a writer and an artist. I kind of want to unite those two words together, writer and artist. And I am going to choose one more word that I feel so strongly connected to is entrepreneur. I feel very important. And actually this word, I don't feel myself as being a strong entrepreneur. So in a way, by bringing it out and highlighting it, I'm making it as a part of my quest. And this is what the reason I'm telling you about my thought process is I would like for you to understand what is it that you need to do with your list in order to make it the optimal way to draw in your picture. Okay? Again, looking at this list and drawing, expressing those important words in your life in the form of a circle in our picture. Okay? So let's do it. Where are you drawing them? The way, the size, completely intuitive. Trust your intuition. Do believe that it's the best. I would like to attest to you that it is the best. Your intuition definitely knows a lot, so definitely trust it. Okay, so I am a mother. Okay. I am a daughter. I am a wife. A wife. There you go. Right between me and my husband, my spouse. I am beautiful. I am beautiful. Ooh. I said the word beautiful, and all of a sudden I'm looking and I'm not fully sure yet where I'm putting my circle. This is also important to pay attention to the energy flow in your mind, in your body, the way you draw. Okay, I'm going to leave the word beautiful. I do want to bring it in later on. I'm going to combine the words role model and educator and make it here. Oh boy, look at this. Look how big it is. Look at that circle that I just made. And I'm going to bring in, I'm a writer and an artist. That's going to go here. Okay, also bigger than the picture. I am a community member. I'm going to make that here. And I am a beautiful. Yeah, I think I'm ready. Oh, I want to bring in an entrepreneur. That's an important word for me. And I'm going to bring it in. And I'm listening to my intuition. My intuition is telling me to draw it right here in the middle. And don't worry about all the overlapping circles. I promise you, when you finish your compositions, you're going to create something so beautiful. It all will make sense. I promise you that. So I drew the entrepreneurship, and now I'm going to draw the beautiful part here. It came natural to me. Okay, time to curve them all out. And I'm going to finish telling you that story, the Midrashic story, the kind of mythical and legend, but they're as related to the sages in the Jewish philosophy. I also know the way I'm curving everything out is I like to do it, in a kind of OCD organized way. I started on this corner and then I go this way. Some people do it all over. I feel for the sake of organizing to make sure that I definitely curve everything out. I like to go and start in one part and go all over it, okay? Go slowly, through all the parts. Now, midrashically, the story of Abraham, who is the forefather of the Jewish nation, actually, he's considered to be a forefather in all the major religions, right? In Islamic culture and in the Christian culture. Abraham is a patriarch as well. So there is a story that the way Abraham came to life was the way he was born was done under very dangerous circumstances where he was almost killed at birth. And by the way, there is a story behind it saying that when Avram's soul, when he was about to be coming to this world, when it became clear to the angels, the angel of, so to say, the angel of justice, so to say, this is the angel that makes sure that everybody gets what's coming to them, so to say. And I'm using a very harsh term for it, because in Judaism, the term for it is not as harsh as it seems. There is no hell, kind of to say. So this is more like of an angel, which in Judaism is termed as Yetzer Hara, the angel that tries to get you to do the bad things in life, kind of the evil inclination. So the evil inclination came to God and said, I don't think it's fair. He has such a great potential for transforming the world. I do not think it is fair for a person of this high caliber, of this high potential, to come into the world, because the way the world is going to change is going to be really major, in a major, major way. And we do know that, the way Abraham, the patriarch, changed the world. He completely shifted the whole focus of the world. He created the concept as we know it called monotheism, which is the belief in one God. Before him, people believed in different beings. And by the way, bringing in the circles, such entities as the moon and the sun were used as a form of worship for that specific reason, because they were viewed by people, by nomads, by people, in the prehistoric times, in the era before our common era. This entities in the beginning of the world, if we talk about historically, we're talking about like Mesopotamia time, by the way, which is the time when Avram lived, which was the time when Mesopotamia was an important geographical region, and the people in that world would start thinking. I have a chat here. 1 second. Yeah, I know the time. I know I'm going over the time a little bit. I would like to do it for the sake of the session, just so we have people fully understand what is it that they need to draw. So what I wanted to say is that when people saw the world, the nature, that is the world for them was the nature. They saw the nature in many circular shapes, such as the moon and the sun. Those came in a circular shapes, and those were the two natural resources that brought people comfort and care, right? Comfort and care in the sense that the sun brought the warmth and the light, and the moon, which even though it was at night, it also brought, some kind of warmth, more in the light kind of sense, because mhm, more in the light kind of sense, because okay. Because it's dark outside, and then you have the moon, and the moon shines and gives you more light. So this is like a miracle kind of in the darkness, right? So that's what I would like for you to understand, that the circle, talking anthropologically in historical terms, circle is this resource for comfort and care. I often tell my students, even the way, let's take another most natural way, the procreation of life, right? The way a woman carries an infant, fetus in the womb is usually round, right? Even the woman's stomach is round. It's a circular shape. The woman carries, this most basic creation of the world, carries in the most basic way by shape of a circle. That's another way to view what circle represents in our life. So look at the nature again. Planets are circular. They're circles. They're a circle shape. They're natural resources, right? We know the way planets are is the way the way the temperature, the way the air in the world works, right? The way the weather works, right? What else can I tell you? All the major basic natural resources in the world are circle. Okay, so this is we're curving everything out, making sure no chance left, and we are also focusing on the fact that I would like to bring the significance on today's day, the International Women's Day, to the fact that we have circles. We're drawing circles. Circle is a feminine symbol. In graphics, in psychology, in Jungian psychology, Jung brought a lot of visual, graphical ways to the way he developed psychology. In in the way we view the world, it's a very feministic, it's a very feministic kind of energy in the world, right? Because the way the woman as a person who brings the creation to world has a symbol of a circle. I mean, what is a circle? Think about it. A circle is something that has no beginning, no end, right? It goes around and around. And that's very much the nature of a woman. A woman's nature is comfort, care, which is what a circle is, right? Circles are here to be a symbol of God's help, or universe, if you want to call it that way. Universe view, universe way to let us know that natural resources are here as a way of miracles, as a way of God telling us, I'm always here taking care of you. And that's the feminine side of God. That's the way God shows care and love and comfort. to us, his creations, his or her creations, to human beings, right? Not just to us, even to all the animals, to the nature itself, right? Taking care of everything in this world, you know, that's very much a woman. So that's another reason why I decided that it would be great to draw circles today on the International Women's Day, because we are women. We are the natural caretaker, comforters, right? Somebody who people come to for advice and to seek advice and to seek care, you know, to seek nurturing. Nurturing is an important word. Circles are very nurturing, right? When you see a circle, the reason why we're drawing circles, they're very therapeutic. When you draw circles, you get inside that circle and you kind of bring that circle in your life. Okay, we are kind of running out of time, so I'm going to bring you to the third section. Same thing. Let's underline the important terms, what you wrote. The next section is the future. What do I want? Okay, what do you want? What do you want in life? Okay, so I'm going to underline important words to me. I wrote companionship, mutual respect, joy is very important. Simcha is the word for joy, so I'm going to combine those two words. Acceptance. I find acceptance to be an important part of people's life. Happy is the same thing as joy and simcha. Love. I think love is very important. And warmth, right? Friendship. Yeah. Now I'm going to write some career. I'm going to bring some career classes, developing our Neurographica America School. Those are very important terms in my personal life. And even though I'm focusing on family dynamics, I feel this is an important part of who I am as I contribute to the family dynamic, okay? So comfort, care, and warmth, I'm going to connect, okay? Now let's draw 10 more circles. Remember, we're drawing 40 circles today. We're drawing 40 circles of happiness, okay? So 10 more circles, and those circles are going to be a representation of what you want in life, okay? Okay, just go with your intuition. It seems like there's no space on the paper, but I want to promise you there's plenty of space. Connect the third part, the third section, with the other part of who you are. This is who you are in life. Okay, and remember, we are multi-dimensional human beings, right? See what happens? Sometimes the circle comes out to be a little, you know, in a different way. So just going back and kind of fixing it and shaping it exactly the way you want it. This is the beauty of Neurographica. You can go back and kind of fix your drawing, improve, draw another line, and you know what? It's Neurographica full of lines, so yeah, you're not going to see much different. Because it's so many pictures. You know what? No, I'm going to draw first 10 circles, and then we're going to curve them out. Okay. Mutual respect, understanding, mutual respect, acceptance, love, my career classes, care and comfort and warmth. You see, I found an empty space and I'm filling it up with circles. That's what you should do. Fill it up with circles, okay? And I'm going to draw, how do I make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Sometimes, you know, even if I don't have intentional, I'm just going to draw circles. I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There you go. See? Drawing circles. Curve them all out. Think about, while curving out, this is a perfect meditation time for you to think about, what is it that I want in life? What is it that I'm trying to attract in my life? What am I questing in life for? Okay? So that's important for you to focus during your classes. I mean, during your sessions, your drawing sessions. Curving out and thinking, you know, everything that we talked about before, what we have in life, who we are in life, and what is it that we do in life? I mean, do you see the connection between all of them? What you have in life, meaning your past your resources in the past, who you are, you know, if you're an educator, if you're a mother, if you're a sister, how does it all relate to what you're looking to get in life, to your quest? How can they can be a resource, right? The fact that, let's say, my quest is to improve the relationship with my children, with my spouse, you know, family dynamics. I'm going to think how my knowledge of an educator, I was a special education teacher working with children, creating all kinds of different programs for children in community centers. Um, and my knowledge, my expertise in that, how does that play a role in my personal relationship with my own children? You know, where do I bring in my professional self, and where do I bring in my personal self? You know, where do I start being a teacher, so to say? You know, all those of you who have a teacher in the family, like if your parent was a teacher, you know what I'm talking about, right? My mother, by the way, was not a teacher. My mother was financial. She was working like in an accounting, but more like in a financial type of accounting, you know, section. So she was an expert in finances and accounting. That was my mother. So I did not grow up with a teacher, but you know, we all know mothers are naturally teachers. They naturally have an instinct to teach, to kind of bring forward and pass over what is it that you need to learn in life. One second. Okay. So, as I was saying, you know, so going back to people who do have teachers as parents, you know, you guys know when you have teachers, you know how at certain moment your parents start being like more teachers than parents. So that's like I always try to be aware of that and try to like kind of be, you know, like conscious about the fact where when am I turning my teacher, you know, on? When do I wear a teacher hat? You know how we all wear different hats. And when do I have um, the when do I have the you know, the mother hat? And I want to tell you that the teacher hat is definitely like more one-dimensional in a way compared to the mother hat. So that's an interesting point to notice. So I would like for you to, at this point, to think about what is it that you want in life and how your past resources, what you already have in life and who you are in life at this point can relate to that and can help you understand, you know, this is a great resource to use, you know, let's say communication skills, or like I mentioned, education skills in my case, or the skills of doing things on a community level, you know, within the community, have a different, um, like interesting understanding the way we do in life. So that's the time to focus on during meditation. Okay. Okay. It's often that when I do drawing with my own students, they tell me, oh, we would love some quiet time so we can meditate on our picture, on our goals, and whatever it is that we're drawing. And I say, absolutely right. That is the right time to take the time to think. for the sake of this session, I am talking more just to explain to you my thought process and what you should go through when drawing Neurographica, when undergoing this, transformation, for you to understand the process, for you to be able to emulate the process when you're doing this work on your own. Especially, those of you who are watching the video and do not have the option of asking me a live question. I am trying to kind of foresee all the questions and answer them. Okay. Also, while meditating, you can actually start making plans. Like, how are you planning to implement those, goals? The goals that basically what we wrote in the third section are really our goals, in life, what we're trying to achieve, right? They're completely related to our general quest. Let's say in my case, my general quest is improving the relationship, the family dynamics. But what I put in this third section are specific goals that I have in relation to my quest. Okay. So we're going to circle everything out, bring the circle into our life. Circle everything out. And start making sense of things. Okay. Now, I'm going to bring in, right? You did notice that we have 3 sections of words. But I did say 40 circles. And we only drew 30 circles so far. So what's going to be the last section of circles, right? You're going to ask me. And I'm going to tell you that the last section of circles are going to be the miracles. Miracles called natural resources. Miracles called just miracles from God or from the universe, It's sometimes something that we actually want, those are who are the controllers in life. You know what I'm talking about. We often want to know everything we need to know in life so we can prepare and be ready for everything we need to know in life. And life doesn't work that way. There are tons of beautiful surprises that are in store for us in this wonderful creation called life. And we need to acknowledge that. And that's exactly what we're going to do in our drawing. We have brought in 3 sections. Who am I? What do I have? What do I have? Who am I? And what would I like in life? And now we're going to add the fourth section of circles, the 10 circles. And that's the world of miracles, the world of unknown. What is a miracle? A miracle is something that does exist in your life, but you don't know it. We're going to do a whole class in about a few weeks called Miracle. Is there no algorithm to the miracle? And it's an amazing class that I'm inviting you to join us in Neurographic America class. And we are going to add 10 more circles and just draw them intuitively. Bring in miracles to your life, okay? And again, 10 circles. 1. You don't have to give intentions to the circles. They're miracles, which means God knows or the universe knows what to give us, and it will. We're just kind of graphically visualizing them in our picture. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you notice how smaller my circles got? 5. I feel the need to draw a smaller circle. 6. Okay. What did I say? 6, I believe, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm filling up all the empty spaces in my life. Remember, I want to fill them up with miracles. 7, 8. 9. Oh, and I want to make one more miracle will be 10. Oh, here it is. So I'm looking for space to bring my miracle in. Okay, so this is what we're going to do next. We're going to, guess what? Curve everything out. That's right, okay? The usual. And at this point, this is the part where you're having a meditation time, more meditation than before, and you are talking to the universe or to God or to yourself, however you would like to view it. This is meditation time. The 10 miracles are meditation time. Curve them out and just be in the moment, thinking it out, enjoying. You're welcome to turn on some pleasant music that you'll really enjoy listening to, and just do it, enjoy your time with yourself. That's an important concept. I would like to bring out to remember to curve every single intersection in your picture. This is very important. That's how the method works. I can give you more explanations now because it's a whole class about why we need to do curving. The whole explanation to that. Okay, and I'm going to tell you after we finish curving everything out, we're going to start bringing some color. But before that, we are going to draw some neurographic lines through our circles. What the neurographic line does, to say, simplest terms, is to bring in some energy to our circles. Basically, we just gave intentions to our world, right? We're trying to draw a new reality. And what we're going to do is we're going to bring some neural lines, some neural perspective, which means, it has to do with the neurological world and new world. We're going to add a new dimension, so to say, to our picture and to our worlds consequently, okay? Curve them all out. Just being the being, that's an important part. For people who are more religious, I can say that this is resembling to the quiet part. There are times when we pray loudly, and in the Jewish world, in the Jewish prayer, we have something called a quiet prayer, which is called the Amidah or the Shmona Esrei. And those are, the time when we quietly talk to God and tell him everything, we'd like to discuss with him, so to say. And this is what I'm urging you to do. Take some time and be within yourself and by yourself to enjoy yourself and enjoy your solitude. It's important to remember. I actually do that with my kids. I tell them that it's important to enjoy your solitude. It's important to be on your own, to hear your thoughts, to listen to your thoughts, and to talk to your thoughts, So, yes. It's an important part. Okay, I think I'm almost done. And I believe I curved everything out. Mazel tov to me. That was a nice, tedious process. And you know what? I personally love it. So the next section is going to be drawing neural lines. Okay, how do I draw neural lines? Just so you understand, I showed you neural lines before, right? Specific lines like this. I urge you to first actually practice on the paper before you do it on your picture, just to get, you can go back and watch the video from the beginning if you want. And I'm going to draw. Honestly, I'm going to give myself maybe like 10 lines. since we're in the picture. Actually, I'm not going to do 10. I'm going to do 3 lines and see if I need more. You're welcome to draw as many lines as you would like. Now, remember, I'm going to draw the lines and then curve all the intersections out. So that's an important part to keep in mind. If you are not planning to curve everything out, be very careful with your drawing. Rather draw less neurographic lines and draw more and not curve them out. This is an important aspect I would like to bring to you, okay? So I'm going to draw in 3 directions. Okay, actually, I just realized I want to draw a vertical line. Okay, up and down and up, okay? I just made 4 lines, okay? So this is it. 4 lines, and like I said, curve everything out. Okay? Curve everything out. Just FYI. And look at this line. It's something that just gave your everything you would talked about, all the new goals that you set for yourself. These are the lines that are putting it into the realization. These are the lines that are bringing it to life, okay? It's an important aspect to focus on. Okay. Through your lines and curve them out. This is important. So everything will be nice and harmonious. And then think about how this line is the way that, brings all your goals, all your aspirations in life to fruition. Think about it. Think how happy, this is what I would like for you to bring in. Think how happy you will be. Smile. I think this is going to be so amazing once I achieve the state of harmony in my, and then say your goal. Say it's going to be an amazing time, and start kind of like thinking how amazing it's going to be, how great it's going to be. And I promise you at this point, you should have some, it's called creative, the drive, creative like upheaval, creative like ability to create anything in your life. It's called the drive. Like you get like this urge to be creative and think about it. And this is a time when you can start getting those ideas about how you can implement whatever it is that you need to do in order to reach your goal. And that's, an important aspect. I do urge you, though, to stay on the drawing and curve all the lines out first before taking a paper and writing down your wonderful ideas, okay? So I'm on my last line. You're welcome, when you create the lines, you can make them vertical, you can make them horizontal, you can make them diagonal in any side, from lower left to the upper right, or from the lower right to the upper left. You can make them like flowing on your picture. I had the need to create vertical lines in my world, in my life, and in my picture. So that's what I'm going to do, okay? The next step we're going to do is to add colors to this picture, and that's what I'm urging you to do. I am going to finish the video at this point, actually, because this, I think we're supposed to finish already. Yeah, we're like almost 2 hours. I'm going to finish. What I'm going to do is I'm going to finish coloring my picture, and then I will put it in the group. Not in the event, please know that, in the group, in the Neurographic America group. I urge you, I invite you, I welcome you to share your beautiful pictures and your beautiful drawing with us in our group, Neurographic America. I'm inviting you to join us for more classes. We have a very beautiful spring semester plan. Look at our schedule, it's in our group. join us, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to color like 1 or 2 circles, and then you're welcome to do it on your own. I'm using pencils. I have a pencil thing for me. I would like to use pencils, and I am opening it up and I see a beautiful red color which I'm going to use in my circles. Choose, when you color, choose at least 4 shapes that needs to be filled, okay? For the sake of this picture, do choose a circular shape, you know, but look at your pictures, right? You can choose a smaller circle, you can choose a bigger. Because the circles are overlapping, you can choose any combination of the shape that creates a circle, okay? I'm going to choose this circle that I would like to color red, okay? Okay, I'm going to color it out. I'm going to show you how I can color it. I'm going to make and I notice that I have a little something sticking out, which I'm going to see what I did. I added more marker line to make it nice and smooth. I don't want any like harsh lines or anything sticking out in my picture. I'm enjoying to draw with pencils lately. You're welcome to use markers. I often use markers in the pictures behind me. I use a marker. Highlighters are a great way to color in because they blend easily and you can create different colors by blending them. I have started to enjoy using pencils lately. I enjoy the coloring that it brings, you know, that not very harsh coloring that kind of can be blended. If I go like this, right, with my fingers, kind of allows me to, like, you know, kind of create difference. Can blend the pencils together also. So this is my circle, one circle that I came out. By the way, when you do coloring, go crazy, go wild, enjoy yourself, create any combination, any and all combinations you would like. Just do remember when I'm asking you to bring out a circle in your picture for the sake of the name of this picture, because we're drawing circles of happiness. And don't just like make an unknown shape. Like you can make a football shape, but that's not really a circle. So for the sake of this picture, I'm urging you, because I feel this will bring out your most potential, to bring in circles, okay? But in the color-wise, you go wild, use your imagination, color any way you want to, okay? So I want to make this circle more purple. Another way to color, right? The way this is another way to draw a circle. Just go like this. Just take a pencil or a marker and go in circular motion. Very therapeutic, just to let you know, for the sake of therapeutic. Okay, nice. Okay, just to get you a glimpse into what can happen in our picture, I think I'm going to bring in some blue. I think I'm going to do different colors of circles in my picture. Like I said, I'm just showing you a little bit. It will be, for me personally, the creative part, the part of coloring, takes much more time, because sometimes I stop and I think and I take in everything that I, you know, all the whole process that I drew in the first sections, you know, how we'll put in colors, how we'll put in circles and curving them out, and thinking about what I have, the gratitude part, the sections, you know, the goals. And then I start coloring. For me, sometimes it takes time. I do not color. I remember doing that as part of the course that I took, you know, becoming the instructor, that I would color in one space. But most of the time, just to let you know, I am the kind of person who needs my time to kind of take everything in and then bring in the color with different mindset, because when I bring in the color, I work a lot of intuition, and sometimes after the process of, you know, drawing, in this case circles, and curving them out and going through the whole thought process, it, you know, it kind of gives me, I need some time to reflect back on it before I add more color. So I just showed you a little bit. I invite you to look at our other videos, how other instructors draw and how we explore color and drawing in Neurographica. I actually invite you to look at the conference. We had a conference in January 21st. We do have videos in our group from that conference, so you're welcome to view that and to familiarize yourself more with shapes, lines, colors in the world of Neurographic, in the method of Neurographica, and we would like to welcome you to our world of Neurographic America and to this beautiful method. I'm going to say goodbye to you personally. And there I am. This is my picture, which keeps falling down, but this is what I would like to show you. I use highlighters for this picture, and I use pencils for this picture. What I'm going to do is just show you the picture up close, just for you to understand. From the far, it doesn't look as good, but I actually do enjoy to see the picture, to use pencils lately, because I feel like they create a more flowing shape, you know, flowing color. So that's my picture. Okay, so thank you for joining us in Neurographic America class. Spring semester, welcome. We have started, we're going on. Join us for more classes. Enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy your weekend. Thank you.